Okay, in 7.3c, we're going to learn the box method, which will be a second method for multiplying binomials together. Okay, before we do the box method, I'm going to remind you of the method we used in the last class. And we're going to simplify these expressions by using the distributive property. If you recall, if I start in the first parentheses, I take the x and I distribute it to both terms in the second parentheses. So x times x is x squared, x times positive 3 is positive 3x. Then I take the next term in the first parentheses, which is a negative 7, and I distribute that, so that's negative 7x. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. And then if there are like terms, I do combine them. So the x squared is okay, but the 3x minus 7x is going to be negative 4x. And I'll bring down the minus 21. And then this is my answer in standard form. We're going to go ahead and do the next one just for practice. Distribute the 5x. So 5x times 2x is 5 times 2 is 10. X times x is x squared. 5x times 4 is 20x. And then positive 1 times 2x is positive 2x. And positive 1 times 4 is positive 4. Okay, let me bring down the 10x squared. 20x plus 2x is 22x. And then the positive 4 has no like terms. So this is my final answer. It's in standard form, which is nice, even though it didn't tell me I had to have it in standard form. Okay, now the method we're going to use today is called the box method. It helps people organize their terms, and it sometimes helps people keep track of their signs. After we've learned both methods, you can decide which way you prefer, and you can do it the way you prefer. Okay, this is a box here. To find the area of a box, we do the base times the height, or the length times the width, or something like that. But I'm doing x plus 2 times x plus 7. So I'm going to line the x plus 2 along either this side or this side of the box. It makes no difference. Okay, so I'm going to put an x here, and it's a positive 2 over here. I'm multiplying x plus 2 times x plus 7. So I'm going to put that along here. I'm going to put the x in the first box and the positive 7 in the next box. Okay, now I'm going to multiply this times this to get the answer to go here. If I do x times x, I get x to the second. And I know it looks weird, you'll get used to it. Okay, now to figure out what goes in this box, I do this times this. So positive 2 times x is positive 2x. And you don't have to put the positive, but it helps me with the next step. Okay, if I want to figure out what goes in this box, this is this times this. So x times positive 7 is positive 7x. And then in the last box here, that's going to be this times this. So 2 times 7 is positive 14. Okay, now I'm going to write my answer in standard form. These are all my terms, and they're the same as if I had done the previous method. They're just listed instead of being listed horizontally, they're listed in kind of an organized manner. But again, that helps you keep track of if you lost anything. Okay, I'm going to put it in standard form. So I'm going to start with the x squared because it has the highest exponent. Okay, now I see the next thing I have is a 2x. But I also have this positive 7x. So I'm going to go ahead and combine them. 7x plus 2x is positive 9x. And I'm going to go ahead and put the positive 14 last. And this is the same answer as if I had distributed, but it's just a different way of doing it. And let's go ahead and try the next one. I'm going to do it the same way. Okay, I'm doing 5x plus 3, so I'm going to line that up along one of the sides. It does not matter. I could do it along the height or the top. Okay, times 4x plus 1. Okay, to figure out the box, I multiply this times this. So 5 times 4 is 20. X times x is x squared. Over here, 4x times 3 is 12x. I like to put the positive 12x to keep track of my signs, but you could just put 12x. Here, positive 1 times 5x is positive 5x. In the last box, 3 times 1, which is positive 3. Same terms as if I had done distributive property, just organized differently. Okay, I'm going to bring down the highest degree, which is the 20x squared. Okay, I can see that I have a positive 12x plus 5x, which is positive 17x. And if I bring down the positive 3, that's my answer. Okay, let's do 2 more. I'm just going to put some negatives because sometimes this method does help with the negatives. Okay, so I'm going to do x minus 5. So this is x. Since it's a minus 5, I'm going to put a minus 5 here. I'm going to multiply it by x minus 11. This is an x. This is a minus 11. and keep its sign. The great part about this is it keeps your signs a little safer. In this box, x times x is x squared. In this box, negative 5 times x is negative 5x. In this box, negative 11 times x is negative 11x. In this box, negative 5 times negative 11, a negative times a negative is a positive, so this will be positive 55. And let me write my answer in standard form. So the x squared is the highest degree. I have a minus 5x and a minus 11x, so it's going to become more minus 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16x. And I'll bring down the positive 55. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, 2x plus 3, and I'm going to keep this sign, times 2x minus 3. 2x times 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x to the second. Here, 2x times 3, positive 6x. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. Positive 3 times negative 3, negative 9. Okay, let me bring down the 4x squared. Okay, now let me look at my like terms. I have 6x minus 6x. 6x minus 6x is 0 x's, so the x's are actually completely canceled. So let me just bring down the minus 9. Okay, this is my final answer. This is a good answer. Okay, go ahead and try the practice problems on the next page. If it says to use the box method, you do need to use the box method. If it says any method, you can use the distributive property or the box method, depending on which way you prefer. When you're done, check the answers with those on the calendar.